Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where today I'm once again doing the modern battleship mission, but I'm not going to go for the 18-inch guns. Sure enough, they're fun. They do a load of damage, but this time around I want to make this ship have as many guns as possible. Not 18-inch, just as many as possible, that's the objective. Let's start up with the Advanced Tower, Mark 13, as far back as possible, and the secondary tower quite close to it, and a funnel right in the middle. This is all the deck space that I'm going to have for the guns. Now I've decided to go for a displacement of about 90,000 tons. You can go all the way up here to 105, but I found that 90,000 tons is probably enough. Now survivability is going to be quite important because I'm going to go right close. Small caliber guns, which means you gotta get close. So we're going 33 knots with this behemoth. Just imagine all the power that's needed to send a battleship of this size, 90,000 tons, at the speed of 33 knots. Upgrade survivability first. Diesel engine Mark II. I'm going to go for oil, forced boilers, auxiliary 3 to make sure I can repair stuff faster, shaft 3 to get a little bit better turning rate, although turning 90,000 tons around is still quite a challenge. Armor plating, Group 4, Barbette 4, anti-torpedo 3. I expect stuff to be dead before they even get close. Triple hull. Reinforced bulkheads Mark II, anti-flooding 3, and Citadel 4. Turtleback armor. Okay, so I have a displacement of 66,000 tons, and now it's time to start adding the guns. Unfortunately, I can only really fit the huge superimposed barbettes. I would like to go with the mediums, but the game just doesn't allow you. Possibly because they're, on this mission, forcing you to use these big guns. So I'm going to try and use as small guns as possible to fit onto these barbettes. And interestingly, the 9-inch, they don't even fit. They almost entirely disappear inside the super barbettes, or the huge barbettes. So maybe 10? Nope, 10 doesn't work either. 11-inch? Nope, still too small. How about that? My guns are too small for the barbette. 13-inch, still too small. 14-inch. Well, here's a thought. I could just do without the barbettes. That way, I could have 9-inch guns on here. Quite a lot of them, probably. I can have 7 main turrets. And then potentially quite a few side-mounted turrets as well. Side guns. Yeah, I can have 6 of those. Alright, I'll take the 9-inch. And since I'm initially going to be charging the enemy, I think it's time to have these things on the front. Now, I only recently discovered that you can press R and actually sling these guns around. Doesn't always quite work, but yeah. See, one of them is pointed forward and the other one is not. It's a little weird. So let's just go with the standard setup of having them point outwards. They're going to be turning forwards anyway. Now my 4 weight offset is quite high, so at some point I will have to resolve this, but for the moment I'm not too concerned, because we're still very much in the process of building this ship. Before I start adding more guns, I'm going to go for super heavy shells, insofar as you can have super heavy 9-inch shells. And one of these turrets is complaining that their field of fire is a little limited. I wonder why. You're only boxed in by all the other turrets. It's not quite going to fit properly, but that's okay. On the stern, a couple of 9-inch guns. No barbettes whatsoever. These things are just going to have to make it work as best as they can. The further I can put it out back, the better. And having these guns fire is actually going to be quite challenging, because these are going to be boxed in by a lot of other guns. Because I have only just begun. Time for the secondaries. I can add 8-inch secondaries, but I have found that those don't fit on the... Actually, no, they do fit on the island. And you can fit 3 triple turrets there, so that's another 9 guns per side. The game is still complaining that some guns have a poor sector of fire. Yes, for the moment, but, well, if this turret really gets cramped into everything, I might be able to replace it with something else. But for the moment, I'll just stick with it as is. Now let's fill up the rest of the island first, and the 3-inch triple barrels are the ones that actually fit on here. Although, actually, no. I think these actually fit 7-inch? 6-inch, maybe? Yeah. So you got another 9 6-inch guns on the island. And then we got more triple turrets for 3-inch. Okay, I'm down to 77,000 out of 90,000. And I still have about 22 million to play with. Now, hitting stuff is going to be important. So, Generation 2. My long-range gun accuracy is not that important, though. Because my range is 20 kilometers only. Now, I'm going to making this a HE slinging ship. So we're going to go for Lyddite 1. More HE shell damage and more HE fire chance. The HE fire chance on this one's also quite good, but you're just paying a hell of a lot for the shells. You're paying 1000%. Whereas Lyddite has a 200% shell cost. So my budget would go from 130 to 137 as opposed to 131. Which still gives me quite a lot of cash to work around with. And I still need to add a lot of armor. I currently have 12-inch belt armor, 10-inch secondary armor, 11-inch on the turret, 5-inch on the turret top, 11-inch on the conning tower, and 2-inch on the belt extended. Oh, sorry, on the deck extended, 8-inch belt extended. But let's see what other guns I can possibly fit. It's going to be a little trickier to get more guns on here, because the game is going to get quite resistant to placing more guns, considering all of these are going to start to overlap. But sure enough, there must be another place where I can add another gun. See, this gun probably won't do much. That means that I can probably move the side-mounted guns slightly further away. And now I have a little bit more room. Oh, come on, you're not that important. You don't need that much room. Look at how close this thing is and how much is complaining. 5-inch? Okay, this thing, I'm not sure why, but this turret really needs its space. It doesn't care much that there's another turret very close to it, a 3-inch, because it's probably just above it. But it really doesn't allow you to set anything up to this layer, in which case I might still be able to field an 8-inch. No, not 8. 8's not going to fit. 7-inch. Nope. 6. No, I think the game is going to get quite picky and forces me to put a 5-inch on here. Gonna put them slightly more in towards the deck. Yep. Oh, and now you're allowing me to put them over there? That's remarkably picky. Oh well. Oh well. Let's just go with it. If this is what the game wants, then this is what the game is going to get. Now, I do have access to torpedo launchers, because as the more observant of you might have noted, I have turned on the give all hull types and give all tech types. So I have access to every type of weapon, including torpedo launchers. So if I would want to, I could put torpedo launchers on the ship, provided that I have deck space. Which I really don't, and it's not important because it's not the aim of this particular ship. This ship is not about torpedoes. This ship is about guns. And many of them. Now, could I fit maybe another 5-inch here somewhere? No, I think the 8 inches... 8? Yeah, probably 8s are on the way there. 3? These guns are... Whoops, I removed something. These guns are tiny as compared to the other guns, but consider that on a destroyer, these are actually pretty sizable guns. Yep, I'll just park some more here on the deck. These are probably going to get in the way of the 9-inch here. I actually have a 4 weight offset of only 0.6%. That is remarkably low. Could I move this sling slightly further back and get an extra 1%? Or 0.1%? No, I cannot move it further back. And I think this turret is about as far back as the game will allow me. Yeah. Alright, well on a ship this size, I'm hoping that a displacement offset of 0.6 is not going to be too noticeable. I will need a rangefinder. Stereoscopic rangefinder is not that useful, I think, because I'm not really going for long-range gun accuracy. But the alternative is the Coincidence Rangefinder Mark V, which gives me more gun aiming speed. I don't really think that that's going to be too much of a problem. So let's go for the stereoscopic anyway, because the alternative is inferior. Reloads. I will take autoloaders. I will also take electro-hydraulic turrets. And... damn it. These are side-mounted 9-inch, I think. Yep. Reload time on these guns is 16 seconds. They only fire at a range of 20.1 kilometers. But at a speed of 33 knots, I should be getting there pretty damn quick. Now these only fire at a range of 8.2. These fire at a range of 18.5. We got the 6-inch firing at a range of 14.4. The 5-inch fire at a range of 12.4. And fortunately, the game allows you to have the ship manually select which guns you want to fire when. Hold on, I have a port weight offset. So the game can be targeting one ship with the main guns and another gun, or another ship with other guns. How do I have a port weight offset of 1.6%? These are all in place. These are all in place. So it's not the island. It's not these either, I think. Aha, it was that one. I only removed the side-mounted turret. Or was it? Oh, it was a main gun, I think. Yep, see, there you go. Could I move these slightly further back? 4 weight offset 0.5. These things now still have a decent angle of fire. But maybe I can shift them slightly and get that angle even further upgraded. Too close to the 9-inch. Yeah, this might be a slightly better position. And then I don't think I can put much more on there. But I mean, this thing is bristling with guns anyway. Do I really need more? Arguably, I could put more on here. If I remove that 9-inch turret. Yeah, that would give me more guns and still have a weight offset of 2%. Which is not great, but it will be survivable. Let's go for maximum bulkheads. Because I'm going to be running very, very close to the enemy. And that means that my chances of being put on fire are pretty good. So the faster I can put that out, the better. Now, can I upgrade any bit of armor? Yes, I can put the secondaries at 10.1. Alright. This is the Duquesne class battleship. French. Electro-hydraulic turrets, auto-reloaders. These guns fire every 15 seconds. These guns fire every 4 seconds. Every 10 seconds. Every 16 seconds. I think it is time to take this thing to war. Now, this is the mission where I have to sink 2 battleships and a bunch of cruisers and escorting destroyers. So there's going to be no shortage of targets. The challenge is to stay alive long enough for me to get into range. We already have a line of sight on the enemy, or at least radar has picked it up, so immediately head over there at 33 knots. And I imagine that the turning circle for this ship is not going to be particularly small, because I'm still trying to throw 90,000 tons around. So this is going to take a while. Alright, HE all the way, aggressive gun firing mode, open up when ready, and especially with the radar, my base accuracy should be quite good. So let's see when I can start my first fires, and when I can get those other 8-inch into range. at 18 clicks. We're approaching with 33. They're approaching with, I don't know, probably somewhere in the range of mid-20s. Would be my bet. When are you going to lock on? 20.1. Yeah, they just entered gun range. Already got a first couple of 9-inchers opening up. Look at this ship, though. Guns, guns, guns. It is going to work. Your bet's as good as mine. But I think it's a fun design. Is it historic? Absolutely not. Absolutely not a historic design. But then again, this is a game. You're supposed to have fun with it. Now, it seems that they're setting smoke screens, so that means that destroyers are probably even closer. Yep, here's the DDs. This seems to be a battle cruiser, potentially. But I, in fact, think it's a battleship. Now, ideally, I want to be in range where the 6-inch can also engage, with a relatively good accuracy. So I'm thinking that I will need about 14 to 12 kilometer range. Once I get there, I'm going to turn broadside and get every gun that I can on one side of the ship to fire. For the moment, it's interesting to be firing at these battleships, but I don't think it's going to be particularly effective. I will need to get closer for that, despite the fact that I'm flinging HE at them. Let's try to go for the other ships first. 12... I am assuming that these are armed with torpedoes, so I need to be a bit careful with them. And considering that this is a big, big ship, it's time to start turning and slowing. Slowing to 26 knots gives me a bit more accuracy bonus. Here we go. We've taken a first bit of damage. Ship is on fire, but that should be put out pretty quick. I have a lot of damage control. Look at this. All the 9-inch. Oh, this is such a weird design. You couldn't really even call this a secondary build. Because most of my guns are 9-inch, which the game kind of considered primary guns, despite being either centerline or side-mounted. So far, I have done exactly 0 damage, interestingly. Can I make this turn every sharper? No, not really. Alright, let's just let the Duquesne do some work for the moment. Oh, that's a destroyer. Take that thing out with a priority. Accuracy is only 2.6% though. There you go, first bit of damage done. DDs don't need a lot to sink. And if you just fling enough stuff at them, some of it might actually hit. The stern guns are also all starting to light up. Hopefully, I'm going to get rid of that destroyer quickly, because getting out of the way of a torpedo is going to be a whole different challenge if you're displacing 90,000 tons. Yep, that will do. Rudder midships. Oh, it's going to take a little bit of time for the rudder to straighten out. Alright, let's slow down even further. Let's go to half speed. Priority target, light cruiser, since I don't think that the destroyer is going to get into range at the moment. What's my pen chance? 66. Well, that's actually quite tempting. Let's go with AP. Because if I have this many guns, then 66% chance to pen is actually workable. Unfortunately, I have taken some damage to my fire control systems, and my accuracy has dropped to about 5%. Alright, we might be getting our first kill very soon here. Just imagine, you're aboard this ship, and you're tasked with taking on that battleship. And your Admiral says, get close and torpedo it. You look outside the window from the bridge and you go, am I really charging into that? And I think the ship might reconsider. But then again, Do you reconsider and survive and potentially get court-martialed? Or do you charge in and die before you even complete your objective? Flooding. I'm still firing. I'm firing everything now. 9-inch, 8-inch, 6-inch, 5-inch and 3-inch. The accuracy on all guns is pretty bad. But there are a lot of them. There you go, rudder damaged, flooding, fire. And I don't necessarily have to kill all of them. I just have to cripple them enough to get them out of this fight. And I can finish them off later. Unfortunately, they're setting smoke screens again. Which is going to make it quite hard to hit them. Yeah, I'm down to 4%. What? We did damage to the main tower of something else? What am I shooting at? Mostly at this destroyer. And I think the other destroyer might also have taken a hit. This thing is surprisingly long-lasting, considering how much shell fire it's taking, how much of a rain of HE. There you go. Could you finally kill it? That's one. First kill. My structural integrity is down to 96%. But we are just getting started. Oh, here we are. Now opening up on the battleship. It has few bulkheads. Which, in the case of fighting a HE slinging Duquesne, could be a very quick downfall, depending on how accurate my guns are going to be. With 7.5%, thanks to my damaged fire control, I'm actually missing out on quite a few rounds. At least this destroyer shouldn't pose a problem anymore. That one's down. Who would like to go next? Let's wipe out another destroyer. Because once the destroyers are dead, and the heavy cruiser... Yeah, these things don't have any HE, or sorry, any torpedoes. So once they're dead, I should be able to start closing in. And get even more pen chance. And start wiping things out with, well, I was going to say secondaries, but with everything. Structural integrity down to 90%. Not seeing any torpedoes in the water, so we should be fine. That should be another dead destroyer very soon. Yep. Okay, next. The other destroyer. Current range, 4.6 kilometers. Holy shit, that thing's going down fast. Acquiring a new target. These Zinji, which is currently in smoke. But that doesn't really matter. Put out more runs. And watch them do damage. Hold on, this torpedo launcher is swinging around. So he might be looking for an angle. I think the ship is currently still in the way. You can see the torpedo launcher right there. So for the moment we might still be safe from torpedoes. Even if a torpedo does strike this ship, I'm not too worried. Because it's going to get repaired very quick. And I have a load of bulkheads to wither any, or to withstand any damage that I might take. Now get rid of the Zinji. Sorry, Zinji. And then I can... Oh, speaking of... He did get his torpedoes away. Now I have taken quite a bit of structural damage and lost my rudder. I am flooding. But this is where all of that damage control is going to come in very handy. Because right now, everything is focused on keeping this ship afloat. And so far, I have not lost a single % of floatability. This destroyer, though, cannot quite say the same thing. But credit where credit is due, this thing did get a load of damage in on the Duquesne. Flooding is under control, flooding has been repaired. Rudder has been repaired. Okay. So far, so good. Now, I still have about 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, I also need to sink everything over there. So I think it's time for a quick trip towards this battleship. So let's speed up to full speed. And also angle away a bit more. Because despite having good belt armor, I don't need to be subjected to more fire than I absolutely have to. And angling works. Let's see how quickly we can get rid of this other battleship over here. Who's very... well, probably very quickly going to start regretting not installing more bulkheads. Shells, still 1600 for the 9-inch guns, 2000 for the 8-inch, 6 inches 3000, the 5-inch almost 8000, and the 3-inch 6500. Chance to pen, 3.7%. Yeah, I'll stick to HE for the moment. Is this thing armed with torpedoes? No, it is not. Okay, that's good. Down to 73. Oh, you're destroying secondary guns of mine now. That's annoying because I need those. So what did they blow up? I'm seeing one. I think 5-inch out of action there. And on the island, it's quite hard to see what is out of action. Yeah, I think they took out one 8-inch over here. That one looks very charred, and this one too. But don't worry, I have more. Oh, now it's getting annoying, because now my conning tower has been damaged. Accuracy is at 100%. But I still need to sink a hell of a lot more. Look at this guy. He's on fire in quite a lot of locations at the moment. I might be able to pen this ship at this point. Let's go for AP and see what happens. No, it's all bouncing off. I'm just scattering on his armor. So HE is the way to go. Those were the last AP rounds. Now it's back to HE. And sure enough, I'm still shattering on his armor, but I'm setting more fires. I am a bit concerned about the survivability of the Duquesne, though. Because I'm just trying to outbrawl the Thong, and I don't think it's going to work. I mean, sure enough, I might get this ship, but there are 6 more coming my way, including another battleship, which is something that I will probably not survive. But it is an interesting experiment, though. I lost all my engines. Speed's down to about 15 knots. Currently 24, but I wonder how much I can achieve. 14 knots. Yep. Destroyed his main tower. Destroying his barbettes. Damage control parties are going to be quite busy on this ship here. But so are they on the Duquesne. And I think that the Duquesne is not going to live. So let's see how many ships I can still sink before the Duquesne goes down. The battleship is now almost entirely on fire. Duquesne suffered an ammo detonation, I think, and has taken on some flooding. Down to 12%. I'm losing secondary guns. I'm flooding again. I'm doing so many hits to this ship that the game doesn't really know even where to put all the damage indicators. They're going all over the place. Ship is trying to run away. I'm not sure exactly where it's trying to go, but maybe to the safety of its own fleet. Strength in numbers. There you go. Thong has been sunk. That's the first battleship. Keep in mind, though, if I would have had 18-inch guns, the ship would have been dead quite a few times over. Their ships. Because then you can take out battleships pretty reliably at about 25-kilometer range. But with this ship, I need to get close. And despite having a ton of armor and a load of guns, it is just not enough. You want to take the enemy in a position where you have the advantage. And at 25 kilometers with 18-inch guns and radar and advanced fire control, I have the advantage. But now I'm fighting on their terms. And I was never going to expect to win this fight. I just wanted to see how much damage can a battleship like this put out. And it's not an unreasonable amount. Because I have sunk all the destroyers so far and done a bunch of damage to a couple of cruisers and a battleship. And to be fair, the Duquesne is still afloat. But I think most of the guns on the starboard side might be inoperable. No, that's a 9-inch that's offline. There's so much smoke that I can barely see. I could swing the ship around, but even on that side, the port side, I don't have that many guns remaining. So let's just continue on. Guns or no guns. Now, target that I want to hit is not really the battleship. I want to take out guns. So that means going for the cruisers. And from the looks of it, most of these cruisers also have few bulkheads. So hit them a couple of times with a good high caliber, a couple of 9-inch rounds, put them on fire, and you're going to get rid of them. I'm afraid that the Duquesne's going to need more than a bit of new plating and duct tape to get fixed, though. Floatability 87%. Oh, I'm losing out on 9-inch guns here. These must be the offset ones. No, sorry, it's the centerline ones. The center lines are running out of ammo. And I'm doing decent damage to the Haiyang, but it could have been long dead had I mounted bigger guns. Lesson learned. Fun builds are fun, but not necessarily effective. As I also have seen in the replay that, or in the gameplay that I put up a couple of days ago, where I built a cruiser, an armored cruiser with a bunch of 2-inch guns. And sure enough, they got the job done, but it took me a load of time. What's my pen chance on these ships? 25. Even heavy cruisers can withstand the shells from 9-inch guns from the battleship. Now, something that the game, I believe, doesn't show me yet, but something that I would really like to see, is how much damage have I taken? How much damage has been blocked by armor? Because I think that would be a really interesting stat. To see exactly how long I've been able to keep the enemy at bay with armor and angling, for example. Of course, showing angling stats would be quite challenging, I imagine, but not impossible. Now, this cruiser's quite close. Pen chance is 55. Let's go for AP. Because he's really close. 1.5 kilometers out. Unfortunately, he angles, making it harder to pen him. Duquesne still at floatability of 22%. There's another flooding hit on the Fujian. We might be able to sink this thing. Which is not even the target that I was going for, I think, because that was the Haiyang. Come on, get it! Whoa! Structural damage. That looked like an ammo detonation. Next target. Ningxia. Lost another secondary gun. Ammo detonation. Again? Interesting. Now, every now and then they shut me on fire. They set me on fire, and every time the damage gets reduced pretty quick. I still am at a structural integrity of 22%. Damage to the main tower. They keep destroying secondary guns. Whoa! Kaboom. There goes another ammo detonation. Next up, the Shaanxi. And then they're actually down to 4 ships. Oh, that looked like a big hit, but I'm still down to 22%. Casemates getting destroyed. Pen chance, 55. 17? Are you a different design? I think that might be a different design. Let's go for HE. I did take a big hit. I've been set on fire again. Still 22%. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take this thing apart 1 HE shell at a time. Or rather about 10, considering I still have this many guns remaining. Problem is, it's all behind me. How many guns do I still have left on the stern? Yeah, about nothing. All these guns are dead. And despite my 9-inch... Oh, actually, I wonder how many guns I have left. I got these 9-inchers. And I think that that is largely all that I have remaining. Right. So that could be a bit of a problem. I wonder if they could blow up all my guns. Destroy a secondary gun. Well, they might. They might kill all the guns. Still, for the moment, I'm able to do damage. Pretty decent damage as well. Survivability still 22%. Although this isn't helping. Then again, I'm broadside to an enemy battleship at a range of, what, 3 kilometers? Yeah. That is a great way to get yourself killed. Now the Duquesne can take it. Mostly. Most of the midship is on fire and I have taken a lot of flooding. And I lost my funnel. My funnel's been destroyed. How's your ship doing? Not too well either. Oh, what are you firing with? 16-inch guns. And 8, and 7, and 5, and 4. Well, if they manage to sink the ship, I'll hand it to them. They did good. Destroyed funnel, destroyed casemate, come on. So apparently I need to go with either bigger guns for secondaries, insofar as I can, because then I couldn't fit enough on them. Or I need to armor them better. Ammo-wise, the 9-inchers are looking okay at 537. 8-inchers are all dead because they're not firing. The 6-inch are all dead. So I still have the 5 and the 3 left. Although even from those I don't have too many shots or too many active guns. That is something that I would really like. An overview of stats indicating how many shells of what... Ooh, ammo detonations. Of what type of shells from what type of guns actually did most damage. Coming from all the warships, I'm used to having these stats. Saying, okay, your fire damage did this much damage. Your HE shells did this much damage. And your AP rounds did this much damage. And you can also see it for your secondary guns, but in this case I want to have it even further specialized into, okay, your 9-inch guns did, I don't know, 22,000 damage. Your 8-inch guns did actually only 3,000 damage. In which case you could conclude that maybe they didn't live long enough. Maybe they got disabled too soon, so I need to armor them better. Or maybe the guns are just not effective against this particular type of enemy. Now another ammo detonation. I'm now down to 2% structural integrity. Maybe I can still take the Hijang with me as I go down. But the battleship and the other cruiser, that is going to be pretty long odds. So it's an inevitability. The Duquesne will slip beneath the waves. Soon, I'm afraid. She's listing to starboard quite heavily. And had these cruisers had torpedoes, I would have been dead a long, long time ago. This time the Zanshi is actually just brutally crossing right in front of me at 400 meters. And chance is still only 19%. Yep, that's what you get when you go for small guns. Come on, guys, finish her off. You've earned it. Another ammo detonation. Floatability 30%. Structural still 2. I think most of the modules on this ship are so damage saturated that they really don't take that much damage anymore. Another ammo detonation. Structural down to 20... No, sorry, floats down to 26. The ship slowly but surely is flooding. 25. Another ammo detonation. How much ammo do you want to detonate on this thing? Isn't everything gone at this point? And what I find even more incredible is that despite all of these ammo detonations, the ship is still here. Still afloat. It's still... well, and another one, and another one. It's still mostly moving. Despite having taken the beating of a lifetime. And the same can be said for the Haijang, which is still here. And then meanwhile the Zanshi over here is still circling. Another ammo detonation, structural down to 2, float to 16. Bulkheads are doing their job, but that's eventually going to run out. Come on, take it down with you before you go. Another ammo detonation. Come on. It's down to 6. Although this thing might also be damage saturated. Destroyed main tower. I thought they'd already done that a long time ago. Structural down to 1. Ship's on fire. Come on. You earned it. Sink the Duquesne. There she goes. Sinking due to structural damage. So this was interesting. It didn't work out as I had very much expected. But it was surely enough a very interesting experiment to see exactly how many guns I could fit and how much damage I could do. Not enough to sink the ships, not enough to sink the fleet, but overall, still fun. Just seeing so many guns go off. Hope you enjoyed it, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for more episodes from Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts.